Hey guys, Chris, Ironhead Garage. Yep, watching them gassers. You know I would be. So I've been working on the old 55 Chevy. And I got this T-handle welded on there. Got the trunk lid down. So there it is. So that's in the run position. That's in the off position. Somebody was saying, does it clear the trunk? Yeah, I got about 5/8 of an inch there. So plenty of room on the clearance for the deck lid. Been doing a little bit of wiring. Trying to run these main cables. Some guys say to run that negative wire all the way to the motor. And ground that, and then ground the motor to the frame. Ground the body to the frame, and that's what I'm going to do. And a couple other guys, they say I could have just ran the negative off of the battery here to the frame and use the frame as a big negative cable. But we went this way. I had it done. So switch was all done. So I did end up boring a couple holes in here. Ran the negative in there. So I got plenty of room for whatever style of battery I get. You know, sometimes they switch the post on them. So it'll go anywhere in the box. The power wire, I got them fastened there. Power wire comes through there. It'll come over the top of the battery. I was going to run it around here before, but I thought, nah, we'll just run it through here. And it dumps out there, and it'll go to the switch. I got these guys here. I'm going to solder onto the ends and shrink wrap the ends of these guys. And then I'll run another wire. When I cut the end of this red one up by the motor, it's ran wild. I'll run another wire from the switch back up into the battery box, into the battery. So this switch here will kill the power to the car. I'll probably have to run a wire from the ignition wire, or one of the ignition wires, to this switch, because if you just shut this switch off when the car's running, it'll shut the power off, but since it has an alternator, the motor will stay running, so you need to kill the ignition to kill the motor. And that's what the drag racing associations and stuff, you got to have it that way. Instead of just shutting off the main power here, the motor will still run unless you kill the ignition. So you put this light up underneath the car, and I'll show you what I got going on underneath here. Go around here to the other side. Should have had the creeper on this side, I guess, but there's the old creeper. We'll slide up under here. Show you these wires I've been lacing up underneath. So there they are. They come out of the trunk pan and a couple grommets. Keep them from ever rubbing. Then I've been using these clamps. I just laced it all the way down the bottom of the floor pan. So it's nice and tight. Got it all the way up here to the firewall. See them down there. And it goes over the cross member. I keep them a little bulged here. I don't want it to rub on here. I might put a piece of rubber tube on here, but I don't think they'll ever hit. So I got them fastened to the firewall there with a couple clamps. It's just loose now until I get them cut. So this red one here will go to my starter, to that fitting there. I'm going to solder it on there and shrink wrap it. And then this other negative one, I think I'm going to bolt right to the bottom, or to the back of the head right there on the motor. So after I cut these, I'll have a pretty good scrap. Then I'll run one from the motor to the frame. My engine is actually solid mounted, so it is grounded to the frame, but we'll run one of those. A ground strap from the motor to the frame, just to be sure. And then I'll have a scrap of this red one. I could probably just make a strap from the body to the frame and ground the body to the frame. You want that for sure. So we're getting on soldering those and see how they come out. Let's see what it looks like from acid lever down here. That looks pretty cool, nice and tidy. So that should work good. Alright guys, I'm going to get the solder out and start soldering those ends on. Cheater slick. Alright, well, I've been soldering up these ends on here. I'm sure you guys know how to do this, so I didn't show doing it. Maybe I'll show doing one. But I just got this old vise and I clamped that fitting in there, that electrical cup. And I get my torch. You can use the MAP gas ones, but these get a little hotter, so it goes a little quicker. I put a little bit of flux in there. The electrical solder has flux, so I always like to use a little bit more flux in the cup. I strip them back about 5/8 and heat that up until that's a puddle inside there, and then just push that cable right down in there. You can take it off. This one's, yeah, it's cool enough to take off now. But there it is, soldered up. I'll clean it up a little bit, get the flux off of there. And I did the ground. That's all the flux that's on there. And I got the shrink tube up there. Make sure you put your shrink tube on there first and get it up a ways out of the heat. Slide it on down and shrink them up. So I'm going to clean these up, put that shrink tube on there. Alright. Alright guys, well I figured I'd come back and show you guys soldering one of these. A lot of you guys have done it. Some of you may not have done it. So there's that power wire that's going to go to my starter. Got it all shrink wrapped up. So that's good for a lifetime just about. And there's a ground. It's going to go to the block. So I got to make me a ground strap for my motor to my frame. Got this piece here. I got the shrink wrap on it. I got the ends. I got one cup in the vise there. And then I need one to go to the body, to the frame. So I got this little piece here. Got shrink wrap on it. And I got a couple ends for that guy. So I'll fire up the torch and heat this up. Put some solder in it. And show you how it goes. Smoking. You don't need it real hot. We're pretty good. Nice little blue flame. So we heat this cup up. It don't take long. I'm gonna say you better. I watched her make a few runs here the last night and today, and she's really stepped up. So Rick, you might want to really. It's too hot, it'll flame up. I'm gonna tighten up my vise a little bit. For you next round, brother. You can see it just melt right in there, fills up. You don't want to fill it up all the way, but you want to get quite a bit in there. It's about 3/4 of the way full. Keep her nice and hot. You can heat that guy up and look at her just push right in there. So that's all it takes. Hold it there for a second. And she's done. So, pretty easy. I'll clean that flux off of there and push this shrink wrap down, and that one's good for a long time. Ain't never going nowhere. Alright. Hope that helps somebody out. Real easy to do, guys. Just make sure you get the rosin core solder. Don't get plumbing solder. There's a few different ones to choose from when you go to buy solder. It'll say for electrical on it, so make sure you get that. Alright guys, I'm going to finish doing these cables up, and I'm going to get to the trunk and do that one. Alright guys, I've been soldering up them ends on the battery terminals. Got those all done. So the red power wire comes in through the battery box over the top of the battery, and then to the switch, through the switch and back into the box. And I got these terminals on here. They're brass and they're gold plated, so they're killer terminals. So that's got enough room to go anywhere into the box. Depends on what side the positive or negative is on the battery, they'll reach. Same with the negative. I put my own grommet in here. It's way tighter than the ones they came with. Even the ones here I put better ones in there because the ones that came in that kit, they were pretty baggy. So that's watertight there, airtight, and that one's a lot better. So yeah, pretty cool. Go like hell. Shut her off. Go like hell. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm digging that switch. So go back here to or up here to the front of the car. Take this light with me, dark underneath here. So I got all the cables bolted up down here. You can see. So that main black wire that comes from the trunk, that's this one here. That one bolts to the back of the head. Hopefully you can see it. And so I made another ground strap that comes from another spot on the back of the head that loops up and over the frame here. And goes right there to that bracket. So that bracket was on there. I'm not sure what that bracket's for, but try to crawl around here. So that one comes from the back of the head. So it grounds the motor to the frame, to that bracket. I cleaned it, and then I made another short one. You guys saw me fabbing that one up. So that one goes from the frame to the firewall mount. So now the body is grounded to the frame, and the motor is grounded to the frame, solid mounted anyway. Probably would have been fine, but it's good to have another cable. So that works pretty good. Worked out pretty good anyway. I actually did get the starter hooked up. Open this hood up so I can show you. Need to put that exhaust back on pretty darn soon. So there's the red starter wire there, the main lead. So that inside one will go to the switch. Yeah, looks pretty nice and tidy. So probably need to weld those quarter panel trims up. Yeah, not putting that Speedway one in here. We're using that American Auto wire kit. This was my leftover one from doing my truck. Bunch of extra stuff, power windows and radio and power antenna, but I got a bunch of goodies in here I've been using, connectors and clamps and stuff. Good to keep all that stuff. So I need to get on those. It's getting a little warmer. Still haven't welded those, so I get them wheels back on. Put some differential fluid in her. But yep, I'm gonna start digging out that fuse box pretty quick. I need to hook up my heater controls. These guys here, I don't want to wire it up and then lace these through there and have them in the way, so I got to clean them up a little bit. They're pretty good. They work. I got them, had them soaking for a while. That's for the defrost and the outside, inside air. So we'll get them in there. Then I'm going to hang that fuse box. Start putting some more wiring in this car. Yeah, she's getting close. Alright guys, I appreciate y'all watching. I'm getting it. It's going to be a hell of a day when this thing runs. Alright. Just got to wait for all that snow to melt outside now. Hey, look at that old 57 Ford. Alright guys. Have a good one. Appreciate you.